Hello, dear students. I am Mrs. R. Anand and welcome to the history class of Standard 9th. Today we will study chapter number 6, Empowerment of Women and Other Weaker Sections, part 1. Empowerment, which means upliftment or development or strengthening of women and other weaker sections. So let's get started. In this particular module, we will study about the introduction of this chapter, manifestation of women power, the Chipko movement, anti-liquor movement, International Women's Day, and assignment. So let's get started with the chapter. We all know that women had participated extensively in the freedom struggle, and women have made important contribution in all fields in the post-independence period. In this chapter, we will study about the laws enacted for women and other weaker sections. But before that, you should know this, that number of women per 1,000 men. When you study this census chart, in the year 1951, the number of women were 946. After a period of 10 years, that is 1961, it came down to 941. Again, after 10 years, that is 1971, it decreased to 930. In 1981, the number of women was 934. In 1991, it was again down to 927, and in 2001, it was 933. So children, it is a topic of research that why. You have to find out the reason why the number of women per 1,000 men in the population has been decreasing. When we study the condition of women in India, we realize that the roots of several of the problems they face lie in the mentality of men. Even in the 21st century, we have not been able to rid ourselves of this male-centered mentality. What is male-centered mentality? It is male-dominating mentality or chauvinist mentality. So, Vinoba Bhave made use of women power in the Bhudan movement, which he had started placing his faith in Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy. Now, women volunteers carried the message of Bhudan to all parts of India. It was for the first time when Vinoba Bhave he made use of women power in his Bhudan movement, and women volunteered themselves and they carried the message of Bhudan to all the parts of India. Women played a significant role in the Telangana peasant armed struggle, which challenged the rule of the Nizams and the feudal system. As their region became free from bonded labor, women also found freedom from this torment. Now, they not only played a significant role in Telangana peasant armed struggle, but they also challenged the rule of Nizams and the feudal system. Now, feudal system, you have already learned this in your 7th standard, in which you see that feudal system is nothing but the distribution of land and bonded labor. So, here we see that they got themselves free from bonded labor and also found freedom from this torment. Now, what is torment? It is an experience of several mental and physical suffering. Manifestation of woman power. Women who have to face the brunt of scarcity of supplies and rising prices gave a show of their strength as an organized entity in 1972. Under the leadership of the socialist leader Mrinal Gore, women in Mumbai participated in a demonstration which came to be known as the Latne Murcha, the rolling pin demonstration. Now, manifestation of women power. something happened which displayed or which demonstrated the women power, and it was when the women experienced the scarcity of supplies. Scarcity means shortage of supplies, or and even the inflation, that is rising of the prices. Now this made women come together, an organized entity in 1972, and under whose leadership? Under the leadership of socialist leader Mrinal Gore. They all came together and demonstrated in a morcha called Latne Murcha. Latne means Belan, the rolling pin demonstration. Commodities like oil, ghee, rava, maida would become scarce during as Diwali was near at hand. Kerosene had become very expensive. Women came together, brandishing their rolling pins, and took part in the demonstration. This movement met with success, and the public got a glimpse of the united power of women. Now, commodities like items and materials like oil, ghee, rava, maida, these are day to day consumption things or items, and there was a scarcity of this. It became less or shortage. There was a shortage of all these things, and that is why, and even the kerosene's rates were very expensive, or there was an inflation in the rate of kerosene, and that is why women came together brandishing. What is brandishing? To wave as a thread, हाथों में लेके ऊपर दिखाना, right? So they brandished it and brandished the rolling pins, and they took part in the demonstration. And here people came to know that yes, there is united power of women. The Chipko movement. Another show of constructive women power was seen during the Chipko movement in 1973. Trees from the forest in the foothills of Himalayas were to be cut down for commercial purposes. Chandi Prasad Bhatt and Sundarlal Bahuguna had started a movement to prevent this. Now, Chipko movement was started at 1973, and it showed again the constructive women power. Here, the trees were supposed to be cut down in the foothill of Himalayas and used for commercial purposes. Commercial means for trading, for business purpose. So here Chandi Prasad Bhatt and Sundarlal Bahuguna came together, and then they started this movement called Chipko movement. Women followed the strategy of holding hands and encircling each tree. As this method consisted of protecting the trees by embracing it, the movement came to be known as the Chipko movement. Women took part in it in large numbers. Women had a big role to play in the agriculture economy of this region. Gaura Devi was the activist, Gaura Devi, who created this awareness among the women with the help of Sudesha Devi and Bachani Devi. Then came anti-liquor movement. Liquor means an intoxicated substance. शराब जिसको हम बोलते हैं. In 1992, in Andhra Pradesh, a movement was started against the drinking of alcohol. Yes, liquor is also alcohol, called as alcohol. It received a good response in other states too. When the head of the household dies an untimely death due to addiction to alcohol, the family faces a serious crisis which affects women the most. Due to alcoholism, they have to deal with extreme sorrow and poverty. This movement got the support of the anti-Arak movement in Andhra Pradesh. As a result of a government policy, Arak, a locally produced alcohol, dealers set up shops in every town and village. The poor laboring people began to get addicted to alcohol. At the same time, a literacy program was being run in the villages of the state. The Sitama Katha, Sita's story, was narrated as a part of this program. It was a story about Sita, who creates awareness among the people of the village and gets alcohol to be banned from the village. In 1992, three youths of Dubagunta village of Nellore district in Andhra Pradesh drowned in a lake in state of inebriation and died. At this instance, the women of the village came together and forced the closure of arak shops. The report of this news in the local newspaper had its effect on many other villages. The movement spread to the entire state, and the government had to adopt a policy against the sale of alcohol. Now, what happened? Three youth of Nellore district were drowned in the state of what? The state of intoxication. What is inebriation? Inebriation means intoxication, drunkenness, and they died. And that is why women came together and they forced the closure of the arak shops, and this news spread all over the state, all over the villages, and the government had to adopt a policy against the sale of alcohol. International Women's Year. The United Nations had declared 1975 as the International Women's Year. The three aspects of this program were peace, development, and equality between men and women. In 1975, the Government of India constituted the Committee on the Status of Women and appointed Dr. Phul Renu Guha as its chairman. Yes, definitely we celebrate International Women's Day on 8th of March, but United Nations had declared 1975 as the International Women's Year, and three aspects were there in the program, and they were peace, development, and equality between men and women. And Indian government also constituted committee, and in which Dr. Phul Renu Guha was appointed as its chairman. A comprehensive survey was conducted of several issues such as the social position of women, their status, the consequences of the constitutional provisions made for women, as also education of women and its percentage, their progress due to education, difficulties faced by working women, the position of women with respect to work or livelihood, their wages means salary related to men's wages, the female male ratio, birth and mortality rates, and the role of women. That means a comprehensive, a total survey was done on women, on several issues related to women, and it included everything right from birth to death. What is mortality rate? The death rate. And what kind of education they should get, and what is the effect of that education, and what are the salary or the wages they're getting in comparison with the male, and everything was surveyed and was submitted to the government. Taking into consideration this entire background, a statewide conference for women was held in 1975, organized by the Sri Mukti Sangharsh Samiti. Women from all walks of life, regions participated in it. The Samiti published its manifesto in 1978. What is a manifesto? It is a policy or aims which they have for their Samiti or for their committee or organization. The policy of a struggle against discrimination on the basis of gender, caste, and varna was adopted. This gave rise to a collection of songs called Sri Muktichi Lalkari, a street play called Mulgi's Hali Ho by Jyoti Mapsekar, and a periodical called Prerak Lalkari, which became their mouthpiece, and other such programs. So in this policy, in this you can say manifesto, what was added? That there should be no discrimination. What is discrimination? Differentiation, bhedbhav, on the basis of what? On the basis of gender, whether the person is male or female. Caste, there are so many castes in India. Caste means you can also call it religion. And varna means in Hindu religion there are 4 varnas, that is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So on the basis of this, no discrimination should be done, and all these things gave rise to a lot of collection of songs. what was it called? Sri Mukti Chi Lalkari. And also street play Mulgi Zhali Ho, and a periodical. Periodical is a journal or ek patrika which comes out at a particular interval. So all these were started. In 1977, groups like the Stri Mukti Andolan Samiti, established by Saudamani Rao in Pune, Bayaja fortnightly, as also Sri Uvach Maitrin and Sri Anyaya Virodhi Manch in Aurangabad, Mahila Dakshata Samiti in Kolhapur, Mahila Hakka in Nasik, and Nari Prabodhan Manch in Latur were formed. Anti-dowry protection committee were formed all over Maharashtra. A conference to protest against oppression of women was organized in Dhule city. What is anti-dowry? Dowry is Dahej. Uske against protection committee was formed. Vidya Bal's periodicals Nari Samta Manch and Milun Saryajani, as also the work of the Samajwadi Mahila Sabha and the Krantikari Mahila Sangatana were of great help in dealing with the women's issues. The employment guarantee scheme in Maharashtra also helped to empower women. Pramila Dandavate established the Mahila Dakshata Samiti in Delhi in the year 1976. Branches of the Samiti came up in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Punjab. The Communist Party established the Akhil Bharatiya Janwadi Mahila Sangatana in 1980. Efforts were made to start branches of this organization in all parts of India. The Sangatana started a struggle against issues like dowry, female feticide, domestic abuse. Research on women's issues was undertaken at various levels. Women's study centers were started at the first Women's University, the Srimati Nathibhai Damodar Thackeray SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, and at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, Savitribai Phule Pune University, and Shivaji University, Kolhapur. These centers played an important role in critical analysis and in developing a vision on women's issues. So here the Sangatana, which was started a struggle against issues like dowry. What is dowry? Dahej. Female feticide. It is aborting a female fetus in the womb of the mother, जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं भ्रूण हत्या, इसके अगेंस्ट, एंड डोमेस्टिक अब्यूज, दैट इज डोमेस्टिक violence. So Sangatana was started to deal with all these issues, and along with that even care was taken to give education to women by starting universities for women, colleges for women at different places. So this is all about children, about the first part of this lesson, lesson number 6, empowerment of women and other weaker sections. So here I am posting you an assignment in which the first question is write short notes on. The first one is anti-liquor movement. Second is International Women's Day. Question number 2 is write the answers in 25 to 30 words. First is describe the Chipko movement. Second, what was the Latne Murcha all about? So, dear children, here we come to an end of part 1 of this lesson. Please read the lesson carefully, learn the question answers, solve the assignment in your register, and study. Thank you. God bless you.